And we welcome you back into Extra this morning. Well, more reaction right now to Governor Kay Ivey's plan to end federal unemployment aid programs.
In case you missed it, the governor announced yesterday that Alabama would end all federally funded pandemic unemployment compensation on June 19th, and she cited complaints from business owners who are having a very difficult time filling job openings.
Now, joining us now to talk about this among other issues this morning, GOP Congressman Gary Palmer of the 6th District. He joins us as he's getting ready to head out this morning, flying out in just a little bit. So we appreciate you taking the time. Congressman, good morning.
Morning, Janice. Morning, Mike.
Good to have you with us. Congressman, the president says, based on their data, added unemployment benefits is not to blame for millions of Americans not returning to the workforce. Do you have data to the contrary, or is it assumed that's the reason?
Well, I don't know that there's data out there, but there's logic. And the logic would be that if you can get paid as much to not work as you would for working, or get paid more, that logically you would choose to not work. And I think the fact that you've got people begging people to come to work and they're not coming to work is pretty good indication, pretty good evidence that as long as we pay people not to work, they're not going to.
Do you feel like the president is essentially saying the same thing now, saying that, you know, if you're offered a job, and you have to take that, if you don't take that job, you could lose your benefits regardless? What are your thoughts on him saying that?
Well, that's typical Biden speak. He's backtracking on what he said, that he didn't think that us paying people not to work would be a disincentive. Now he's saying that if there's a job out there, you have to take it, because he recognizes that people are choosing not to work. But to give you an idea of what it means to be on unemployment with the federal bonus in Alabama, it's almost $15 an hour. If you're in Massachusetts, it's $38.50 an hour, and it varies state by state. And that's based on a 40-hour work week. But the bigger issue here is, and I've tried to make this point to people, is that how this is going to impact our culture long term if we have one part of the society that works and another part that doesn't, and how it diminishes the quality of life for everyone, how it disincentivizes people to develop their intellect, their talents, their creativity, which we all benefit from when people are engaging in the workforce and in the culture and utilizing those gifts and talents that God's given them.
I guess, and only time will tell as those benefits start being stopped for folks, and see if folks do start accepting those many job openings.
Congressman, meanwhile, we do know your time is short, so we want to move on just a few other subjects. I understand you sent your report on the crisis at the southern border to Vice President Kamala Harris, who is overseeing that situation. If you could summarize what your report says and how the country is currently handling the crisis, but also what more needs to be done.
Well, you know, the president made Vice President Harris the czar for the border, and she hasn't been down there yet. There have been 90 Republicans who made that trip, and so I put together a report in chronological order of what our members were seeing, and it's everything from human trafficking to drugs crossing the border. The first 3 months of the year, there was enough fentanyl that was interdicted to kill 141 million Americans. We have no idea how much got across that that we didn't pick up. There are over 180,000 people that are classified as gotaways. That means they knew they crossed the border, but they couldn't catch them. They got away. And then there's the issue of known or suspected terrorists, and we picked up, I think, 5 or 6. The last 2 were from Yemen, and they were picked up at different points. We need to go back to what we had in the Trump administration: continue building the wall, continue deploying the technological devices that secure our border, increase our presence on the border with more Border Patrol agents, and reinstate those agreements and arrangements with Mexico, that when people are seeking asylum, they stay in Mexico while those determinations are made as to whether or not they'll be granted asylum.
Congressman, time's running out, but I do want to address what's happening with the gasoline situation now. That's the one topic everyone is talking about today with the pipeline issue. What are you hearing from Washington, and what can you assure people watching right now in regards to this?
Well, I'm concerned about the overall energy situation with the Biden administration shutting down fracking on federal lands. We've already seen an increase in energy costs. The gasoline prices will work themselves out in regard to the pipeline being shut down. But it's the longer term, and energy is the most inflationary part of our economy. It impacts everything that we come in contact with, and it's especially hard on lower income people. So I'm very concerned that we're going to see through the rest of the year rising energy costs, not just at the pump, but on your household utility bills. And I'm hopeful that the administration will wake up and realize the damage that this is going to do to the economy and the harm it's going to do to low-income families.
All right, that will be all for today. Congressman Gary Palmer, thank you so much. Safe travels, sir.
Thanks, Janice. Thanks, Mike.